Financial services. And. That is not street.
Hang it up.
Oh. Yeah, until.
Kind of take a deep breath, but all, yeah.
They launched into a.
Because we can't overwhelm ourselves, and I think that's where we're at, kind of a little bit.
You can go.
What are they?
Yeah,
I think you've been lined up pretty good for that.
No, I don't actually. So, and so basically.
Are they gonna have anybody return?
No, sorry. That's certified.
So that's, that could be a different deal.
Yep, we've narrowed down one firm. Share price, try to get the proper contract. What's that? So we'll start with the search. You do go.
It's close.
Who's our?
Think we're still. Yeah, you could have some mayor.
That's good.
So there could be some real change.
I'm one of those.
Yeah.
I get it.
Yes.
You know, that's something you think.
You know what I mean?
You should have.
That's what the case is.
I would.
It's those county spots that everybody seems to be wanting pretty bad.
Yeah, and I hope that's bringing.
Well, at least we'll get to that same order situation.
I feel. Hopefully we'll keep
But,
continuing.
for,
I appreciate you. Elizabeth, I know. Yeah. No, okay.
Oh, yeah, he's running.
Well, yeah. That's hard.
He's a partner out there on bridge or. That Charlie called me, he says, man, I even got a guy running against me. That's not, I don't think he's an amount too big a check.
Well, he's a.
He's a little guy. He's running his, is he? Yeah.
I mean, and again, actually.
Some kind of, late elections.
Sit on the back.
I don't know, but. Yeah. But that might be the case. Who else is running?
Okay.
Rob's the relevance, he's in the chair of the chief. No, watch, it was something with a big safe sound. Where we had the. Gotcha.
He must live in the county.
Yeah, he was. So he was able to flex. And also like Tuesdays and Thursdays, maybe you go out. And then on weekends, you still out. But he's just was in a meeting.
Yeah.
I didn't see him send the farther road. And it was lighter than he.
Earlier this morning.
At least done by.
I said what I
District being defined as state. Southeast corner.
Which one? Used to it.
Yeah,
Sound used to it too.
you guys do as good a job.
We just talk about you guys.
We'll try. I know you. You get a little money.
Jason.
What else? It's kind of like the conservation. You know. There you go.
Anybody gets kicked off, right?
All right, we're gonna go ahead and get started. Call the meeting to order. We're gonna start with introductions. We'll start with Joe.
Joe Killian, MoDOT. Chris Crocker, MoDOT.
Jason Williams, MoDOT.
Mark Phillips, Game Special.
Morning, guys. My name is Jay Knudsen, and I'm here representing the county.
Alex McRoy, SEMPO staff.
Drew Christian, CMO RPC.
Judy Smith, Victoria County Transit Executive Director.
Marla Mills, KLG Engineering and SEMPO staff.
And online, we have Cicely Cochran and Scott Perry. I'm assuming this phone number is associated with one of those two. But if not, please chime in and share your info.
Is that Tom?
Oh, Tom, welcome. Didn't recognize your number.
Yeah, well, whenever, when you have listed, whichever, but yeah, to me,
Got it.
All right,
All right, I need a motion to adopt the agenda, please.
I'll make that motion.
Rodney,
second, Phillips.
all in favor?
Aye.
Adopted. Now I need a motion to approve the minutes of the February 7th meeting. Mark,
Second, Drew.
Drew, all in favor?
Aye.
Minutes are approved. Communications. Do we have any public comments regarding items not on the agenda? Seeing none, we'll move on to the new and unfinished business. First up, the FY25 youth planning work.
All right, I got two handouts for you on this first one. One is the one-page front and back summary of our list of project options. And then I also have a draft of our work plan for the year with the projects we discussed at our last meeting. So in lieu of reading through our draft that I provided, I'll refer you to this one pager. Every project listed with the two asterisks are currently in the draft. So these are the projects we discussed last month to program for fiscal year 25. I'll go over them briefly. Welcome, Jake. Our first one is our Metropolitan Transportation Plan. As folks may remember, we could possibly schedule it for FY26, but that would only provide us 10 months to approve a plan. But tackling it in FY25 would provide us 22 months to find a consultant, get it under contract, and then do all the work to develop the plan. So it makes a lot of sense to schedule it this year. We have the funds. So that'll be essentially one of our larger flagship projects for the year. Our comprehensive safety action plan will carry over into FY25. If folks will remember, according to our grant agreement, we have to have the plan adopted by the end of January 2025. So we'll be working on that at least through half of FY25. If you look through our work plan, the comprehensive safety action plan is listed in there as a project, but we don't include the financial numbers because we're not using consolidated planning grant funds to conduct the study. We're using federal highway grant funds through the SS4A. Our regional trail study will also continue on into next fiscal year. A large portion of that study is going to be done in FY25, so that'll carry over as well. And then our Title VI and Language Assistance Plan is up for renewal in FY25, so I've scheduled those as well. And then I've carried over a portion of funds for our origin and destination analytical tool, and I'll talk about that in a little bit in the future. Have an update on that one, but as of now, I've put an earmark in there to continue on with those funds as well. And then with the rest 6 through 10, you can see other planning studies that we've contemplated but are not currently scheduled in FY25. Our discussion last month was with the Metropolitan. That's the largest planning initiative we conduct as an MPO. It effectively acts as an umbrella for all of our other planning studies. They all are in service to our Metropolitan Transportation Plan. So it's going to be a significant undertaking. And then with these two carryover plans with the Comprehensive Safety Action Plan and the Regional Trail Connection Study, we decided not to try to incorporate yet another large planning initiative within FY25. So if that continues to be the consensus, we can continue on with the draft as is, and I'd ask folks to make a recommendation to the board that they go forward with the current draft with the project we have planned before. If you do make that recommendation to the board, I'll finalize our UPWP draft and then send it on to our state DOTs and federal highway. And then we'll be ready to have the board adopt it April or May, well before our June deadline. Any questions or discussion items for the work plan?
I think that's a good place to cut it off there after 5. Money right there. We may be able to wrap in some of our public engagement on the Title VI plan with the MTP. I will get it back. I think we did that before, didn't we? On something. Yeah. But there was some other thing that we rolled in our public engagement with something else. And was able to do two at the same time. So I think that's good. Okay, do you need a motion?
Yes, we did.
Okay, you have a motion to recommend the projects with the asterisks to be included in the FY 2025 Unified Planning Work Program to the Board of Directors.
I'll make that motion, Rodney.
Okay, second. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, that passes. Next, we've got the SS4A Comprehensive Safety Action Plan.
All right, we have our next oversight committee meeting tomorrow, actually. Just as a reminder, we've conducted our 2 open houses, essentially our kickoff public engagement open houses on January 24th and 25th at the Jackson Civic Center and Shawnee Sports Complex. Right now, we're analyzing all the feedback that we've received from the public. The next steps that our consultant's working on is developing programs and policies, developing a safety toolkit, developing vehicle travel reduction strategies, all with the goal of having an administrative draft by the end of July. We'll then have time to issue comments back to the consultant, and then we still have penciled down a 3rd community open house in October. More to come with that one.
The SEMPO Region Trail Connections.
We are under contract with Planning Design Studios to help us conduct the study. Currently, we're working with Jackson, the county, and the city of Cape on getting all of their GIS information collected. We just executed an agreement with the county to be able to have their GIS information. They make you sign a user agreement before they give you that information. So our consultant's working on that. I'm also working on scheduling a kickoff date with the consultant. Unfortunately, March just didn't work out on their calendars. So we'll be looking at April, and I'm trying to have it coincide with our TPC meeting. So we'll be here and able to receive the benefit of the kickoff meeting.
All right, intersection studies.
Okay. So working with our consultant, I spoke with them yesterday, and they plan to have a draft of the Route D corridor study to me by this Friday. And then with whatever comments we issue back to them based on that draft, they said they should be able to turn back the final report within a few days after we've given the comments. So that one should be pretty close to fruition, the Route D one. Friday, we'll have a meeting with the 621 and Perryville Road stakeholders based on the design concepts that they provided us. They provided us some design solutions, and several of the stakeholders had a number of comments that they'd like to see and discuss. So we've scheduled that for this Friday. And again, we've kind of all along said the final report for 621 Perryville Road will be around April, May timeframe.
Hey, Alex, if I can jump in just for a second.
Yeah.
I didn't see what some of the other members of that pointed out in their comments. Do you were you accumulating all those, or?
I do have them.
Can you forward those to me in advance of that meeting tomorrow?
Sure.
Please, just curious.
I have a question too.
Yeah.
On the Route D study, do you know how detailed their cost estimate is for that project?
I'm sorry, say that one more.
Do you know how detailed their cost estimate is on the Route D project at the middle school?
No, I'd have to look at it
Okay.
again.
Okay.
That will be a good question that we'll need to pose to them. It'd be helpful if that was a figure you could just take and immediately swap into any grant application.
Right, that's what I'm looking ahead to.
Yeah.
I would add to that, any easements or right of way too, if they happen to know that.
Cost for acquisition.
Thank you.
One of those silent killers.
Yes. Exactly.
Is there a much involved in this?
I don't think so.
Is there much acquisition involved in the concept?
I don't think so.
It's usually concentrated at your driveways, because whenever you have to take flat down an existing slope with more than 2%, you have to transition that driveway back further, which usually gets on private property.
I don't think there are any driveways on it, Route D, all of them face.
I would say
Inwards, I think we're doing retaining walls.
That may be what.
Is that it?
To get
Is that
to,
stayed in the right of way?
I think so, but
even temporary.
there might be temporary.
Yeah, maybe some TCs.
Yeah, I'm hoping there's no permanent.
All right, is that it for the intersection studies?
That's all I have.
Next is the tip tool selection.
Okay, we did select a vendor. It was Eco Interactive. And we had the kickoff meeting, Drew and I, yesterday with the consultants. I think the kickoff meeting went well. Encouraged. I think that once fully implemented, I think on the administrative side, it's going to be easier for us. But certainly on the public facing side, it's going to be a lot more user friendly and helpful for folks to understand what projects we have scheduled over the next 4 years. Again, it's a 3-year agreement, and the implementation process starting this month is about 3 to 4 months. So we're looking at probably June, July, we'll be going live.
All right, and last, origin and destination analytical.
Okay. As folks know, I've been working with the Cape Girardeau Chamber and SEMO Ready on a potential partnership on some type of origin and destination analytical tool. But more recently, they've been in discussions with SEMO RPC about their existing subscription and a potential joint partnership there as well. So what I had done in meeting with Shed Burner and Rob Gilligan, SEMO RPC's subscription was up for renewal, and they needed to decide amongst their member entities. Drew, you can correct me if I misstate here, but the RPC had went in with Farmington, Perry County EDA, and now SEMO Ready on a subscription with Placer AI. Doing so had some cost saving benefits for all involved. The chamber and I said, well, it makes sense to do kind of a regional investment in the tool as a 1-year trial. So we committed $7,000 to be able to be a partnership with them and have the benefit of access to all the reports that can generate. It's not finalized yet, but I believe.
Not yet,
Okay.
hopefully next week.
So coming up very soon. It's actually half the amount we had programmed for the year. We had programmed 15,000 with the intent probably of us going alone on investing into a O&D tool. But when this opportunity arose, I thought it made a lot of sense. So we'd be dedicating 7,000 of our FY24 funds to have access to all that data. Another benefit of partnering with Regional Planning Commission is they would act as the host agency for the software. So they would have their staff trained on how to use it. We wouldn't have to have any of our member entities try to figure out how to operate it. So we would contact SEMO Regional Planning Commission and say, hey, can you run XYZ report? I'd like to see some O&D figures or economic figures about this travel pattern. And they'd be able to accommodate us that way. It'll be a 1-year trial with them. We'll see what benefit we receive, but I think it's pretty low cost investment for a regional partnership and also obtaining information that we've all decided we'd like to dabble in for a while.
Alex, are you planning any like presentations to the TPC or
Yeah, once
how that comes along?
Once the agreement is finalized, I think it would benefit everybody to see all of the functionality, so they know what type of information that they could get out of the software. I think folks will be pretty impressed with, not only the travel patterns it can identify, but also a lot of the economic data that it's able to generate based on those travel patterns.
Okay. Concludes new and unfinished business. We'll move into member reports. City of Cape Girardeau, Jake.
Not a whole lot of changes in the last month. Lexington Avenue is under contract. New Kelly Equipment got their notice proceeded last Friday. They are, I believe, on site this week, working around Sprague and Lexington, doing some saw cutting. So they haven't jumped into it too deep yet, but they're starting to kind of Sprague, working their way west. Concrete street repair, Linwood Hills is complete. Abbey Road is, I believe, still underway, but just about complete. There may be some concrete curing out there. As early as next week, they'll jump to Clark Street. Asphalt overlay, Luce and Bessie are still underway, and there's a few more streets that will be happening early spring once the plant starts back up. Concrete Street 24, this year's project is still under design. Our asphalt overlay, we are bidding that out. We'll have it in the paper this weekend, so we will start working on getting a contractor on board next week, go through that process. We have the streets determined. It will be South Frederick, South Middle of the bulk of that project, with probably a couple extras that will get tacked on throughout the year. Grant projects, we're still waiting on and signals to finish out our Kings Highway crosswalk. Route 74 Minnesota intersection, we are working with MoDOT to figure out how quickly we need to get that one bid. I believe all our plans are ready, everything is good to go. So we're trying to figure out when
That
to
actually gets you the notice to proceed today.
sounds great. So that one will be moving very soon. We'll get a contractor on board and try to get that underway. Our Cape Rock sidewalks, we're still working with MoDOT due to some scope changes. Those driveways get you every time. And then our Cape LaCroix Trail project, we received the initial go ahead, so we're starting to work on that one design wise.
City of Jackson.
Yeah, coordination for the completion of plans for the Humble Creek Recreation Trail Phase 3 project with Smith and Company was initiated. I think plans are about 90% at this time. That's the section of trail between the high school and the soccer park along the creek. We don't have a potential source of funding for that right now, but we're trying to identify one. Staff will be meeting again with MoDOT and Lockmuller on the Deerwood Roundabout project to extend the time frame so the project can start at the end of the Highway 61 project uptown. Right-of-way acquisition should be beginning soon by MoDOT. We're developing in-house an initial concept design for the roundabout central signage and landscaping plan. The Board of Aldermen wants that to look nice and be a good entrance to the city. Let's see, we've already talked a little bit about the Jackson Middle School crosswalk and sidewalk plan, so looking forward to getting that final report and start working on a grant application. Let's see, East Main Street sidewalk project. I believe we have a letter of approval for preliminary plans for MoDOT. So I'm just waiting for, I guess, the legal descriptions and the exhibit plats from the engineer, Bacon Farmer Workman, so I can start right-of-way acquisition for that TAP project. Traffic and safety improvements at Donna Drive at 61. I got a final study from MoDOT on that from their consultant, George Butler and Associates. The plan is to keep Donna Drive intersection improvements in the STIP for fiscal year 2027, as I understand it. So that's construction will be calendar year 2027, without purchase right away 2026. And they also did the Shawnee intersection study, but that's not being added to the STIP at this time. Continuous lighting on East Jackson Boulevard from Center Junction back to Walmart. I think those lighting plans have been sent from Strickland Engineering to MoDOT for review. So we're anxious to get that going. And we've got a little paving project to extend Industrial Drive from Route PP down to the entrance of the soccer park. We're going to use some ARPA money to pave that. About half of it's gravel. So we've got Kaler Engineering working on that design. And then I think we're staff's still working on the concrete and asphalt list of streets that need to be included in those annual programs. But I think the concrete will be out to bid pretty soon. So yeah, it's busy. Thank you.
Jay, East Georgia County.
Good report, guys. I can't follow that up with any detail. I apologize. I didn't reach out, so I don't have anything to report on behalf of the county right now.
Cape Special Road District.
Okay, we're under contract with Jokers for our asphalt overlay for the year. We've got about 8 miles or maybe a little more than that this year. Kind of various routes all over our district. Hope to get them started when, like they said, when plants start firing up here soon. Hopefully get some flexed up on the roads. And the only thing I have to report, we are working on a bridge project for this year. BFW, Bacon Farm Workman's working on that project for us too, and we're hoping to open bids in the next 2 months. That's all I've got. Thanks.
Next is Cape Transit Authority. You said your name's Jenny?
Jenny, yes.
Jenny, welcome.
Thanks. We have 9 new minivans that were delivered a week ago, so that's exciting. It's been someone our fleet's been in need. And ridership continues to increase. We just need more drivers. One program alone this past month of February, we've seen a 56% increase for need of public transit. So that's huge for us.
What drove that increase?
The senior program that the county commission is helping us.
Great.
Yeah. That's all I have.
Is there anything else on that Thriving Communities program?
Still waiting to hear back. I have not got an update on that yet, but everything is submitted. So hopefully we hear something soon. That would be great for us.
Yeah.
Right now, currently, I'm just in audits. We have both our MoDOT audit as well as our triennial federal audit this April and May. So that's kind of swamped my desk.
Fun.
No one from the university, no one from the Port Authority, no one from the airport, I don't think. Takes us to Seymour RPC. Drew.
Went up to the planning partner meeting last week. Suspect Alex should have his reports. Let him cover that. And then really just reminder that we've got the RPC is in the middle of our SENS update. This is our comprehensive economic development strategy. It's a kind of our 5-year guiding document, sort of like NPO's MTP. And we are doing, we're doing county meetings in each of our 7 counties, and the Cape County meeting is following this one in this room, so we will beat you some way. If we learn anything else going on, all right, hang around.
Okay, Boot Hill RPC, I see Scott's on the line.
Pretty much same old, hot one day, cold the next, just waiting on real spring.
Thanks, Scott. No one's received already. MoDOT, let's start.
I'll start. Our highway commission meeting is this afternoon. Hope to be able to let you know if we were awarding 72 in Jackson yet or not. We're pretty optimistic in the district that it's going to get awarded, but nothing's official till the highway commission takes action on that. The 25 and K roundabout at Gordonville is under contract with Rona Barter. And they should be installing the temporary signals for the works on traffic control this week. And then I think like visible work that folks will see as they drive through will begin next week. And that work should begin on the Route K leg of that roundabout. And we have quite a few projects in our March 15th letting next Friday that are in the MPO's region. We have an asphalt pavement repair contract that's in the letting for Highway 61 and Route K here in Cape County. The 61 repairs are going to be roughly from Old Orchard Road down to William Street in Cape. And then on Route K from I-55 over to Kings Highway. So those pavements have taken a beating this winter, so we're going to try to make some repairs on that. Got a project to signalize the ramps at exit 95, so the ramps down at Highway 74. That has an August completion date of next year, and the reason for that is there's a lot of lead time for signal hardware. So that may or may not get started this summer. It just depends on how quickly they can get their signal hardware. And then we have a resurfacing contract in letting for I-55, and that runs from roughly Fruitland up to Old Appleton. That's for the 2025, November 2025 completion. Again, we're trying to give contractors a little more time to get work done in an effort to bring bid prices down. And then we have a structural signing contract on the interstate, another major routes for the Cape area to be on I-55. And that's primarily for the large structural signs that you see. I know someone here asked a couple meetings ago about emergency reference markers. They're not in this contract, but we have a subsequent contract that will address those. So those should be completely replaced with that upcoming contract. That's pretty much it for projects.
Just one more time. I didn't hear you talk about 61, Route 61. I talked to the Jackson construction office just after come in today, and they said that they are still on track to do paving week of the 18th. They did run into a few road blocks with the jail construction going on, but they still hope to have that paving started on the 18th. They hope to have aerial drilling in the next week or so to start pre-boring the bridge there by the park, and then driving piling shortly after that. And then they're currently working on storm sewer north of Park Street, and they're working on sanitary sewer south of Mary Street, and pretty much all that is being located in a lot of rock, so that's going to be slow. Jason mentioned K25. Tomorrow we will be meeting with Notre Dame and Drury hotels to talk about one more option that we wanted to explore for the proposed roundabout at Route K, there by the school where the entrance is to the school. So we're meeting with them, and hopefully after we meet with them, we'll have a public meeting coming up sometime to follow showing all the different alternatives that we have at that intersection there.
Does that coincide with the widening project? You have some shouldering?
Yes, so it does coincide with the widening and adding the extra lane into Cape. Our hope is that we can kind of keep those together, but we don't want to let the intersection process that we're going through right now delay that project any too much. So I guess we're optimistic they'll be let together, but there may be a potential that we have to kind of push one back to keep the other one moving. Jason talked about 72 in the commission meeting today. 5. We awarded a bridge on Route D to Joe's Bridge and Grading. It was part of a bridge bundle. Part of that detour is throughout the 61 project as well. So we're kind of working with them to see if they can consider pushing that bridge back sometime into next year. There is a possible. I don't remember the name of the creek, but it's Bird Creek? Yeah, Bird Creek. So it's a few miles out of town. And like I said, they were awarded that project this year. And they could start it this year, but we're trying to, they have several other bridges to choose from that they could work on. So we're hoping to push that one back to next year. It won't conflict with the Route 61 project. And then we have a bridge on Route Y in the April letting over Little Creek. It's just outside of Jackson. Wanted to talk just a little bit about TAP. You guys are all familiar with it. If you didn't see by now, we did just put out the call for projects at the beginning of last week, I think. If you did not notice, we increased those funds from the federal amount last year being 500,000 to this year it's 600,000 maximum federal funds. Those are due, if they're on the state system, they're due April 5th to myself or the corresponding area engineer. I do highly suggest, even if it's off the state system, to send them in early. That'll give myself and any other aides an opportunity to take a look at the estimates and maybe right away and those sort of challenges that we're kind of used to throughout the process. Give us some time to look at those before they get to the selection committee. But the off-system projects are due on April 26th, the final date to submit those. And then we will select projects from the April 27th through June 14th will be around when we make those announcements for projects.
STIP development, we have finished submitting the projects to central office for the next, the state fiscal year 25 through 29 STIP. Now begins the process where they go through, do checks and balances and try to balance everything out, make sure we're balanced across all of our years. So there may be some changes coming to those. As those happen, we will, as they finish up with that process, we will be in touch with Drew. Drew sent an email yesterday asking about getting the next list of STIP projects with updated estimates. We'll hopefully have that. I'd said, Drew, we would try to have that by around the 1st of April, 2nd of April, but the management team review of the STIP occurs, I think, April the 10th, so it may likely be the middle of April. Just in case any red flags or anything get thrown up during that. Earlier today, I sent out a severe weather awareness. This is Severe Weather Awareness Week for the state of Missouri, maybe nationwide. And the one I sent out today had a little PDF file that talked about tornadoes and just things that you commonly probably know, but just good to have a good reminder of those as we're coming into spring. And I basically said they can disseminate that as needed. The statewide planning partner meeting mentioned earlier, we have a survey out. and the presentations are available. I don't know if you guys have seen that email come through. Could be helpful. Sometimes it's hard to write down the numbers as they're going over those kind of quickly through the meetings. If there's any information there you wanted. Cost share application, the next deadline is April the 12th. If you do have a cost share application that you would like to submit by then, please get with Chris as soon as possible, so he'll have something else to do. To add to his plate, to review for those aforementioned things like right of way and just different things that maybe we don't catch initially, or we just need to kind of review, make sure we're accounting for those costs. The MTFC program, the next deadline for the loan application is June 18th and August 13th. If one of the entities here would like to check into the low cost interest loan that we have available through that. And Chris already mentioned the TAP, so I think that's everything that I have.
Anybody from MoDOT on the line? I think so. Okay. Next is IDOT, Tom.
Yeah, I actually do have a little something I can report. And this comes from the SEMPO meeting over in Marion just the other day, but Route 3 affecting from Grand Tower down almost to 127, but it's including Jackson, Union, and Alexander counties. Route 3 is going to be under construction, primarily resurfacing and shoulder work, I guess, for the next 2 seasons. So it'll be going through the 146 intersection there east of Cape. So that and the eclipse, they were all not nervous about the eclipse, but they have some traffic problems over there last time with the eclipse, and so they were just discussing their precautions in some of the areas that they have traffic challenges. When is that? That's first Wednesday in April, I think.
Not too far away.
That's all.
Okay, thanks, Tom. All right, next is FHWA. Who wants to start? I guess it's just you, Cecily. I guess not on.
I'm honored. The statewide planning partners meeting, that was my first time attending last week. I think it was really nice. It went really well. I don't think that I got to see everyone. I'm not sure if you were there, Alex. I didn't see you, but if I did and I missed you, I'm so sorry. I just have one thing to report. It's really not a report, but just kind of a notification. I don't know how often the MPOs in Missouri attend these conferences, but I'll email Alex the info for it. AMPO, the Association for Metropolitan Organizations, they have a planning tools and training symposium coming up in May. It's May 6th through the 9th, and it'll be in Albuquerque, New Mexico. This tends to share a lot of MPO best practices and different tools for connection for data and any type of plan development. I am just plugging it into all the MPOs just to let you all know that it's available for attendance. And, I highly do recommend, if you can go. But that's all I have. And I'll email Alex the link for it, which will have all the registration information and some of the agenda items that will be there that can go to. But it's May 6th through the 9th in Albuquerque, New Mexico. And I know a lot of MPOs do attend from across the nation. So just plugging that in.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Betsy's not on, and I don't think anybody from FTA is on, so I think that's it for our member reports. Staff report.
I don't have anything additional.
Okay, any other business communications? If not, I'll accept the motion to adjourn. Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
We are adjourned. Thank you.
Subway, huh?
So long, thanks.
Bye, Tom. Bye, guys.
Cold cut combo next. So.
Well, I was thinking about.
We'll think about you.
I understand.
See you again.
Oh, it's one of those, hand on the forehead.
See you boys again. I was out of town. Yeah, that legitimate thing. And I'll do much better. job.
We believe you.
Right now, see. Look like you're doing good.
Thank you.
You gotta do my job. You know, talk about it.
I figured, because then we're in that.
Way small, which is December grants.
They'll need that.
It's like. Yeah. But,
We've been kind of giving them some sort of like, yeah, pre-approval, but you're. Okay. It sounds like they're, maybe.
I have a meeting people too.
No, how much was this kind of?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, you.
Most of the ones that have signed up. This early.
So what's the fallout?
All of that. Good.
You want me to do
Yeah,
that would be great.
Not there.
You need any of this other stuff?
No, we've got, she's bringing our.
We're very sensitive. You just have sites of your tax, I agree with it. Yeah, people on my, Mark Bill's.
It doesn't matter.